call. Let's go. Another Friday, another vibe call. We're here with all of us. I see a lot of legends here in the audience. Huge shout out to Greenity. I see you here. Jairo, Bensei, Nikuta, One Loser, Kavos. Huge shout out to all of you guys and thank you for being here. We have a very, very special vibe call today as always. But first of all, I have my partner in crime here at the stage. SenSEI, how are you today?
Hey everyone, hey Osten. Really thrilled to be here for yet another episode of the Vibe Call. Huge shout out to everyone in the audience and huge shout out to all the women in the world. It's International Women's Day, and on a slightly sadder note, a tribute to the creator of Dragon Balls. It's a shame that he's no more, but his legacy will definitely be alive forever. So, very excited for this vibe call. We have a very special guest. So,
For sure.
We could definitely kick that off.
Yeah, for sure. And happy Women's Day. We have a lot of women here. Huge shout out to Anastasia. She's one of our colonels. I saw you that you rocked the SenSEI merch the other day. Looks really, really great on you. Huge shout out to Ina also. Huge shout out to the other Anastasia, who's a colonel also. But yeah, before we introduce the guest that's here with us, Jquant, I have a couple of things. First of all, I want to remind you all that the SEI sticker contest still going on. So you have 3 more days to participate. Correct me if I'm wrong there, SenSEI. But yeah, I think that it's 3 more days, right?
Yeah, we have. So today's Friday. We've extended these contests to run until Sunday night, UTC time.
Okay.
So there's still plenty of time for those who are busy during the weekday, like during working days, to make some really dope stickers for our community.
For sure, and we can probably add up the winners to the Discord server. So make sure to share your stickers with us. And yeah, you have a couple more days to participate. Then we have the points surprise. I don't know, guys, if you saw the announcement on community updates, which I'm gonna pull up here in the chat real quick for those who haven't seen it, because we're gonna be we're gonna be rewarding actually the top 10 points earners from this month, and yeah, this is gonna be the first epoch is gonna take place at the end of the month. So you have a couple more days to participate on that as well. For those who don't know what points are, it's our new community initiative for you to increase your community status in the SEI community based on quality participation. And also, for those who don't know and want to know more about points, check out the points channel that I just sent in the chat with all the details for that. And then another thing I wanted to mention here is the vibe call structure. For those who don't know how the vibe call works, we usually this is basically an event for science by science. So we want to keep this as informal as possible for you guys to just learn more about the SEI eco. So for that, we start the event with a recap of what happened during the week, which I usually which I always post every Friday on my personal Twitter. So we can just jump right into it. What do you think, SenSEI?
Yeah, let's do it. Hopefully, it doesn't take long because there's been a ton of updates in the SEI
For
ecosystem.
sure. That's true. That's true. And then we have our guest here with us, which I'm eager to introduce here. So let's jump right into the recap first. First of all, in the past 30 days, over 100 ecosystem projects have launched on SEI2 public DevNet. That's amazing to see. Every Friday we're seeing new updates about the public DevNet, which I really, really love to see. And we're going to be covering that with Jquant here in a couple of minutes, so I don't want to get into the details of that. Then we have Grayscale that will introduce a crypto staking fund featuring SEI. For those who haven't seen that, it was pretty interesting to see how like a company, a fund like Grayscale, mentions SEI on one of his posts, and they're going to be introducing a crypto staking fund featuring SEI. So stay tuned for that. USDC and USDT are now live on SEI. Just amazing stable coin on the SEI blockchain. SenSEI's NFT Council collection is gonna it's going to launch on Magic Eden. That's just amazing, SenSEI. Like, we have seen Magic Eden's founders talking about SEI all the time. Like, every week we get like a mention from someone from Magic Eden. So they have been teasing the community about maybe adding SEI, maybe not. Who knows? But what we do know is that Seians, one of our most popular NFT collections, are going to be launching their council collection on Magic Eden really, really soon. Are you excited for that, SenSEI?
Yeah, definitely. Like you can every now and then see folks from Magic Eden teasing the SEI community,
Yeah.
and the Saiyans just love it. Um, Maybe it's a pulse check on whether they should come and kind of expand to the SEI ecosystem. Who knows? But I think the community is loving it, and they are too. They're getting huge engagement for those pulse checks, if you want to call them that way. And yeah, I think USDC and USDT is a huge deal because earlier
For
we had
sure.
a lot of fragmented liquidity, which will kind of get better. And I think like Jquant will be able to dive deeper into like the plans for the ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. That's true. But yeah, really, really excited to see all that taking place in the SEI eco. Then we have DragonSwap that has implemented cross-chain swaps for CW20 tokens. Kamigami NFTs has released applications for the beta testing for their 5v5 shooter game, which is like, I don't know, Sensei, if you saw it, but they did a character, like a special character for each NFT collection on SEI. They have a dove, they have a copy, so that was really, really cool to see. Then we have Wivamp Mint Test Collection that has reached 50k NFTs minted. So what Wivamp did here was basically allowing Lighthouse to work on the SEI2 public testnet. So they have created an NFT collection just to test that everything works. And Usayans are insane, as always, crushing everything. And so they have reached 50k mint, I think, in just like one day, couple days, probably 2 days. I don't know, but it's just insane. Then, like, I think that AA token here, like, Sensei, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think this one's a big one. You have this token. I don't know. I think it's 6A's in the ticker. They did an airdrop to insanely cheap. And it's just a testament to what kind of use cases and scalable use cases you can have on Say, which is I think is awesome. And a couple of more airdrops. You have the Serum one for Colony and Say and holders, and even for the people who've been the most active traders on the Pallet exchange. So that's kind of kickstarting the airdrop season in Say again, and people are just loving it. And then coming on to MRKT or market, however you want to pronounce that, they are kind of introducing new tools to make listings and inventory management more sophisticated. So look out for that as they are getting bootstrapped. Then on Dobbs, Dobbs recently announced that they are kind of launching a 3D studio. We don't know a lot on that yet, but anything that Dobbs doing is very exciting. So good to keep an eye on that as well. And then Ghosty Chain has officially announced that they will be integrating sometime in early April. And yeah, a couple of more meme coins that are popping up. Yeah, don't want to get very deep into them because it's all like fun and yeah, it's just a fun thing that the community is engaged with. But yeah, that's in a nutshell what's been going on in the Seiko for the past week.
Amazing. So yeah, a ton of things happened this week as always. But yeah, we have our very special guest here with us, which I'm really excited to introduce to all of you guys. I think that many of you probably have engaged with him. But yeah, Jquant, how are you today, my man?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So really excited to have you here with us. I'm sure that many people here in the audience want to know more about what's going on with Savvy2 and the ecosystem in general. But before we jump right into that, we would love to know more about you. Who are you? Like your previous experiences in the Web3 ecosystem and everything. So it would be great to know more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to meet everyone. I'm still somewhat getting onboarded into the ecosystem, but it's been incredible getting to meet the Saiyans and the rest of the community. Happy to give a background on what kind of led me here today, and then kind of how I see the future of both DeFi and NFTs as well on Say. So I initially started patenting blockchain and artificial intelligence technologies out at Goodwin Proctor in Silicon Valley. I was the only blockchain expert at Goodwin Proctor during the 2018-2019 boom that we experienced, and it ended up engaging with most of the industry leaders in the space, helping them develop their tech stack as well as protect their IP. During that time at Goodwin, many of our VC clients were very interested in blockchain, obviously. And so a few partners asked me to throw together a monthly market update memo that we would issue to the rest of our VC clients. So I would often highlight changes in the blockchain space, as well as identify potential winners that I saw as high value opportunities. So I ended up writing a memo about Terra Luna and essentially describing it as a bet on the growth of the stablecoin market. as many of you know, Luna is tied to the increase of, or I guess used to be tied to the increase of UST adoption. And I saw that as a very bullish opportunity. So that memo actually made it back to Terraform Labs, and the team reached out and actually asked me to join the team based on that memo. And so I joined Terraform Labs as technical product manager of Anchor Protocol. And if you guys are familiar with Anchor, that was essentially the cornerstone to not just the growth at Terra, but the initial stability of the UST stablecoin, and pretty much a pinnacle of the ecosystem overall. So once we launched Anchor V2, Jquant and I, we would often engage on a daily or weekly basis. He really loved the way that I worked with the team and how quickly we were able to ship. So he actually asked me to find a new tech PM at Anchor, and I stepped into the role of head of grants for the Terra ecosystem. And so that was an incredible opportunity to influence the direction of an ecosystem that I was really passionate about. And many know me as a stablecoin maxi. I prefer DeFi maxi, but I'll take stablecoin maxi too. I think that's a serious growth vector that a lot of ecosystems overlook. And so as head of grants, essentially I was tasked with trying to grow the Terra ecosystem as rapidly as possible, and also encourage stablecoin adoption across the crypto markets. So worked with a lot of institutional and enterprise level capital allocators and liquidity providers. And we had a lot of other growth plans that were ready to go. But unfortunately, we created some pretty powerful enemies, and our peg was attacked on a Saturday, and then the bank run started on that following Monday. So that was difficult. It was a difficult recovery period, that's for sure. But I ended up hearing from a lot, a lot of different blockchains who were really interested in continuing the growth that Terra had tapped into. So I ended up joining Near as head of ecosystem for Near US, and helping guide both developers and investors towards the unique selling points of Near, and trying to identify the most successful developers and projects across the ecosystem and connect them to the correct capital allocators and liquidity providers. And unfortunately, Near was mentioned in the SEC suit against Coinbase. I would say about one to 2 months in to my tenure at Near, and so we had to start significantly reducing costs, and eventually we ended up shutting down that entity. And at that time, I actually, I started going on vacation and kind of taking a break from the markets overall. But actually, Say had reached out and mentioned that they were really passionate about the Terra ecosystem and were looking to kind of replicate that growth once again here at Say. And I love the Say founders, Jay and Jeff. I think they're incredible. Both of them with their unique skill sets. And I thought I could bring a lot of value to this team. So I gladly accepted as joining the ecosystem team, and I think we have a lot of announcements coming up ahead. I know that we just went over a few of them just now, but we have a lot in the works, and I'm really excited to start releasing some announcements shortly here in the next few weeks, I'd say. So hopefully that kind of gives a good understanding of where I've been and why I ended up joining Say.
For sure, and also throwing a bit of alpha in there. That's great. That's what we all want to hear on the Vibe Call. So yeah, Jquant, thank you a lot for sharing more about your background, your previous experiences. which it was quite an adventure. It sounds like it was quite an adventure, and that's great to. It's great to have such talented people like you joining the team, because it makes me feel even more confident about the SEI ecosystem, because now I know that the SEI eco is in good hands, right? So yeah, and when you have received the proposal from Jeff and Jay, what was the thing that made you to say like, yes, I wanna work for you guys. I wanna replicate all that I have learned in the past year for the SEI eco. What was that thing that made you say yes to that proposal?
Yeah, that's a good question. So honestly, I do think the vibe with the team is I would say essential to analyze before accepting any offer to join a new eco. So obviously that was priority number one. Like, do I agree with the vision? Do I vibe with the founders? And are they going to trust me to operate sufficiently to grow the ecosystem? And that was one difficulty I found engaging other blockchains is the fact that the ecosystem team does not let each individual eco lead operate as they see fit. So I think a lot of teams can get stuck in this this process of building up a bureaucratic structure around them. And usually in traditional finance, as well as like any other traditional markets, usually that helps with operations. But I would say in crypto, it actually does quite the opposite. It slows down innovation. It prevents some of your employees and contractors from actually successfully implementing innovative visions or innovative products, moving fast and breaking things. So I found that not only were Jay and Jeff willing to move fast, they were already moving fast, and they also exemplified the vision at Terra that we had established over the most significant growth months that we experienced there, which was essentially keep it simple, stupid. That was I would say one of Doe's defining visions for the ecosystem was eliminating complexity for the end user, even if that is at the cost of providing a more seamless experience, if you will. The keeping not only the user interface but the user experience as simple as possible for the end user, I think will really kind of open up the design space even more. It allows for more and more individuals to tap into the strengths of not only DeFi but the NFT marketplaces and even more complex dApps across the eco. So I would say those two features of SEI were the thing that put me over the edge. But also even beyond that, like the fact that Jay was willing to help lead the entire industry into a parallelized EVM design space, that's incredibly exciting and optimistic. Honestly, I actually had to meet with Jay multiple times in order to understand that he was seriously considering the SEI V2 development, and they were already underway with the development. So they were moving fast, they were keeping things simple, and then obviously being the first parallelized EVM and kind of bringing this industry into that next design space is huge. So yeah, hopefully that addresses your question there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that also, Jay, we had him here when we just released the public DevNet, and yeah, I think that like we all agree that he's the right person to lead this EVM parallelization revolution, for sure. And something that you mentioned, like creating a simple and seamless experience for users. I think that simple, the term simple for people, it might sound easy, but I think that simple, it's not the same as easy. You can create something simple, but it could be difficult, right? So like for the say eco, like in creating a great ecosystem, seamless ecosystem, and a great integration for users to navigate all around the ecosystem. Why do you think that that's the key to achieve that goal?
Yeah, I think mapping out the ecosystem and providing that database as a community access point, I think is number one. I'm taking the lead right now on updating most of, actually, if not all of the SEI ecosystem map, as well as the database on SEI.io, the /ecosystem, the database that's represented there. So I'm hoping by no later than Monday, this coming Monday, I'm hoping to release a whole new SEI database for ecosystem mapping, and then really pushing that out the door to allow the community to kind of understand where the current SEI ecosystem sits right now. I've been working with our team to identify and maybe feature some of the most exciting applications that are already live. But I would argue that the most exciting applications are still to come.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. And like, I think that, as you said, like creating a simple and seamless ecosystem for people, it's just the key for crypto, because and even more when you're working on something that have never done before, just as parallelizing the EVM, right? For us, even for me,
just to kind of expand on that thought, so I would say also making sure what's important in keeping things simple within an ecosystem would be simply not just understanding and mapping out the ecosystem, but the actual applications themselves. So removing as much complexity as possible, and keeping features, only the best features that improve the end user's experience overall. So, for example, at Anchor, we had launched Anchor V2, and many in the community noticed that there were not that many features included in the Anchor V2 launch, and that was actually because Doe had stripped out a majority of our extra features that we had added to the Anchor V2 launch. And initially, there was a lot of pushback, including from myself. I had a lot of meetings with Doe about this, and he was focused on making the user experience on Terra simple, and in order to build trust with the end user, you need to eliminate complexity. I mean, that's just the number one goal. So keeping the wallet experience very simple, eliminating any information from the UI that the user does not need to see or engage with. I don't know if any of you have used Terra Station, but that really was kind of the Cosmos favorite wallet for quite some time. I would say it's on its comeback arc right now. But but Terra Station being so simple, I think was pinnacle to Terra's success. And so you'll notice over the next coming few weeks, if not months, a lot of the wallet experiences are going to get much easier, much more intuitive. We're going to make sure that the wallet selectors across various applications are consistent and cohesive, and make the decentralized applications that are built on top of, say, the most user-friendly and best user experience applications within the industry. So that's definitely going to be a focus for the ecosystem team moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with what you've said. And you coming from two ecosystems that highly value user experience it kind of gives me confidence that, like, yeah, as Austin was saying, like, we are in good hands. We have someone who's seen a lot of these optimizations for UI UX in these other ecosystems, and like yeah, I kind of have to say, like, as much as I was a critic of Terra Luna and its stablecoin, it was very easy and user friendly. And as you said, right, the Terra Station was perhaps the most optimized and user-friendly wallet you had back in the day in the Cosmos ecosystem. And I think, like, Near also highly values these kind of abstractions for the user. So it's you don't have to worry about gas fees and stuff like that. So I'm quite bullish on seeing those optimizations on Say.
Yeah, I think what Near did very well was identifying unique selling points that were not being capitalized on within this industry. And I would say one of those was the account abstraction narrative. Not just narrative, but I would say user experience improvement. It was really a first to market kind of opportunity, and I think Near really capitalized on that well. Obviously, there's still a lot of various features that could be improved on Near as well, but I think that identifying account abstraction as a great selling point for an ecosystem is a great approach. And so we actually do have a few initiatives underway in order to improve the wallet experience, including features such as account abstraction. So we already have teams looking at that, and I'm really excited to release updates as they continue to develop.
That's great. And yeah, something that, talking about improvement, I think that what many people here don't realize, it's the power of Say V2. We've had the launch of our public DevNet a month ago. The past month, the past month we've had over 100 projects launching on Say V2 public DevNet. So, like, if you can, what do you think that are the improvements that Say V2 brings to the table compared to Say V1? Just in general talking, and probably more for developers and builders that wants to join this ecosystem. What are the differences that they're gonna see between Say V2 and Say V1?
Yeah, so I think the biggest improvement that V2 brings is Say DB. I thought it was a really kind of innovative way to look at the storing and then committing state to the consensus layer. I find that SayDB is going to be the biggest differentiator across any other L1 or L2. SayDB will essentially create a more optimized read and write mechanism for chain state, and I find that to be the biggest step up in user experience, but more so developer experience. I think it's going to once again strip out any complexities that developers don't necessarily need to access, and really unify what is being stored on the state side of the chain. But the other, I would say, biggest step up for V2 is obviously the EVM interoperability, and allowing for both CosmWasm and EVM to be executed on the execution layer. I think that's huge. I think it opens up the scalable design space that Say has been working on since launch. And I would say the third most important would be the optimistic parallelization. I know we have a different approach to the parallelization than Monad, and I think we chose the right avenue for that. I have a few developer friends that I rely on and trust for their analysis, and they actually much prefer the Say implementation over Monad, and so that obviously made me very excited. So, and of course, with the optimistic parallelization, the enhanced scalability is really just goes hand in hand with the rest of the others that I had mentioned earlier. So yeah, those I'd say are the foremost important points that I'd like to point out.
Yeah, great to hear that, and I completely agree with you. Like, I'm not a developer at all, but also like being, say, an EVM compatible blockchain, it makes that's what devs have been saying so far, that it's easier to build on when you have Solidity as the main language to build your applications on top of the blockchain, instead of having other different languages such as Rust, for example. But before we keep going on, I just want to shout out the audience here. We have 30 people here in the audience. Quite a small audience today, but a lot of legends here. Mr. Greenity, still see you here. Great content creator from the ecosystem. Brainy, huge shout out to you. Huge shout out to Ben. Huge shout out to Aima. Huge shout out to Carlos, Anastasia. Huge shout out to all of you guys for being here with us. We have Jquant here from the ecosystem team at Say Labs. So we're talking about Say V2 and the Say ecosystem in general. SenSEI, I saw that you unmuted yourself. Do you want to add something here?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get Jquant's view on how big of a deal EVM is. And I mean, he's previously worked at ecosystems that are kind of pushing alt VMs, so primarily Rust, CosmWasm, even now, Say till date, on mainnet at least, is CosmWasm. So I kind of wanted to get his impression on how big of a deal is the EVM, and have you seen what kind of challenges have you seen when bootstrapping ecosystems earlier because you didn't have EVM compatibility?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I was at Near, I would say one of the biggest learning lessons there was the fact that EVM is actually, I've heard Jay say this multiple times, but EVM is here to stay. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Near ecosystem, there is the base layer Near, which is the L1, and then there's a smart contract that was launched on Near, which was called Aurora, which was the EVM compatibility contract, and so most of there was actually more liquidity on Aurora, the EVM layer on Near, than there was at the base layer of Near, which I think exemplifies the not only that the EVM design space fosters more liquidity across the board, but it encourages some of the most talented developers to build within the ecosystem. So when we would finally convince a developer to launch something on Near, unfortunately, they were only interested in launching EVM on Aurora, even though our goal was to get more developers to build on the base layer itself, to prevent centralization across the ecosystem. If you have a majority of your liquidity and transactions flowing through a single contract, that's just a risk vector that you'd ideally like to avoid. And so we just found it incredibly difficult to convince developers to shift their developer environment. And so you need to meet developers where they are. You can't convince them to build in an entirely new and learn an entirely new either programming language or have to operate within a foreign environment and start to learn that. So I would say this decision to launch or pivot, say, into an EVM was made before my joining, but I think it was the right choice. I found it refreshing to have access to EVM developers at Near. It was like trying to pull teeth at Terra, trying to get EVM developers to even consider using Rust and rather than Solidity. And I think the ability for developers to leverage both CosmWasm and EVM on SEI is going to be a huge differentiator over any other parallelized layer one, including Monad, which won't have CosmWasm EVM interoperability. So I think it's a huge step forward for SEI and the entire ecosystem. It was a difficult decision to make, I'm sure, by leadership, but I'm glad they made the decision because it actually contributed to my interest in joining. And I think it's been shown by all of the DevNet developer activity and the rapid engagement and growth that the ecosystem has experienced just from launching a public DevNet with EVM interoperability. So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for V2 mainnet. I think it's really going to make a large splash and a very large impact across the rest of the industry.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Osten.
No, I just wanted to say that I agree on that. I think that it was the right choice to make for sure. And something I wanted to cover, because we are a little bit ahead of the agenda today, and I want people to have the chance to ask a couple questions. Something I wanted to cover is that if there's a developer here or a creator, builder, whoever that wants to start building on, say, Jquant, what would be the process that they should have to follow to start building on, say, or contacting someone from the team whoever that person should be?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, obviously the docs are a great place to start. We have the V2 docs launched already. So if there is a developer here that's interested, if you go to v2.docs.say.io, you'll be able to access the V2 docs. And there's a getting started tab that I think does a really great job at laying out the setup for the local environments, deploying tokens and smart contract examples, tools and resources, as well as, I mean, if you're interested, spinning up a say validator or running a node, it outlines that as well. We have like a quick start guide, as well as a very large outline for really whatever question you might have within those docs. So I really encourage you to open that domain and access the docs. Our team works really hard on making the docs as streamlined and simple as possible. And I think you guys would really enjoy it. Before pinging someone on the team and just having them send you this link, I would just encourage people to access it themselves, and then come to either Discord, or we have a few Telegram chats as well for developers and builders. If you're able to access those channels, start engaging with other developers within the community and discussing maybe some ideas that some other community members might have identified as a need within the ecosystem. I do find that those founders that do not engage with their community end up losing sight of what is really desired by their community that they're building for, and they can lose sight of what the vision for their product really should look like. So first and foremost, I'd say access the docs. Second, engage in many of the builder or community channels that are accessible to you. And then third, of course, we do have a grants program that we've started kind of revamping, if you will, since my joining. And I think it's going to become much more efficient over time. I think if you do end up identifying a large need within the ecosystem, absolutely reaching out to anyone on the ecosystem team at SEI or the community team. You should ping them and try to connect with someone on the ecosystem team in order to start engaging on a whether it's a liquidity allocation front, or introduction to our very large and significant VC network, and I guess identifying yourself as a mover and shaker within the space, and offer up your innovative vision for how you see the SEI ecosystem. I think there's a lot of developers especially in the SEI ecosystem space, and maybe some of them, on the call here today, that are really excited about a particular idea, but they really just don't know either where to start building, or they don't have a developer co-founder, or they simply just want to learn more. The docs are a great place to start. I know a lot of people want more than just what's publicly available to them, but honestly, you don't need much more beyond what's provided in the docs, as well as in our GitHub repos, with many templates and starter packs, starter kits. So do a little exploration, and if an incredible idea comes to mind, please feel free to ping me directly if you'd like on Twitter. It's Jquant Analytics on, I guess I should say, X. And I tend to respond at least once a week to the DM filter or archive on X. It might take me a little bit to get to you, but I think it's worthwhile to reach out if you really think your idea is unique or visionary, or yet to be addressed or tackled within the SEI ecosystem. And we'd love to kind of give you additional support as needed from both our DevRel team and the SEI ecosystem team. So feel free to reach out if there's any additional questions, of course. But the docs and GitHub, great place to start.
That is true. You guys can find the docs that Jquant was talking about at the official links channel. Or if you don't want to go to the official links channel, I just shared the docs link to the chat, in the chat, and Jquant's Twitter account as well. SenSEI, anything you want to add here? I cut you off. I saw that you unmuted yourself. So anything you want to add here?
Not really. I mean, Jquant's been very thorough. He seems to be, apart from seems, he definitely is very approachable. So definitely hit him up if you have something exciting going on that you want to build on, say. We are like a blooming ecosystem, so to speak. So there's a lot we can do to support you guys. So definitely reach out to Jquant. Or if he takes a while, as he said, for DMs, you can always shoot us a DM to either me or Osten, and we'll then try and nudge Jquant to like take a closer look faster. But yeah, I mean, he's been a great guest to have, and it gives me renewed optimism in for the ecosystem, because he definitely addresses or like prioritizes the pain points most ecosystems have, which are mostly around usability and ease of use. So having his thoughts on that and knowing how important that is very promising, because we will see a lot of killer dApps on SEI that are very easy to use, and people should definitely love them.
For sure. So we're on time right now, and Jquant, I want to be conscious of your time, but if you don't mind, we can, if there are, we can take one or two questions from the community. What do you think?
Happy to answer questions. I do technically have another call actually right now, but I'm happy to take one question if anyone has
do
one.
Just one quick question. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, you can jump right into the stage, or you can drop it here in the chat. We're on time, but yeah, we're gonna be answering one question from the community. We have been talking here for an hour about the ecosystem. That's something that gets us really excited. So if there's any question, feel free, guys, to drop it in the chat. If there's not any question, we're gonna wrap up for today.
Yeah, and if there are no questions right now, totally fine. But I do want to encourage people to use the DM function on X, and engage if you either have a great idea for the ecosystem, you identify a flaw within the ecosystem, if something isn't as cohesive as it should be, or intuitive as it should be. We do have a lot of current initiatives coming down the pipe that are going to change the user experience for the better on SEI. So potentially your idea might already be addressed and being worked on by the team internally. But if not, it would be great to hear from the community and make sure that we are actively addressing identifiable problems within the ecosystem. So yeah, would love to hear from you guys
For sure.
as we approach the V2 launch.
Yeah, I think that the team is very, very reachable. We all are. Our DMs are open, and if they're not open, you can just like tag us here in the journal chat. So yeah, thank you, Jquant. Thank you, Kavos, and thank you to the 28 people here in the audience, and of course, thank you, Jquant, for being here with us. It was a great vibe call. I really, really enjoyed the talk and excited for B2 and say ecosystem growth in general.
Yeah, me too, guys. Me too. Really appreciate everyone attending here. Looking forward to the next call.
For sure. And of course, thank you, SenSEI, as always, for being here with us another Friday. So yeah, thank you all. I think that we are ready to wrap up for today. So yeah, thank you all for being here with us. We're gonna see you next Friday. Bye. Peace.
Bye, everyone. Let's end this off with another song. Because why not? It's
Let's
Friday.
do that. Yeah, for sure.